Now we'll see that how marketing has evolved from a typical barter system to the current modern and complex marketing system that we see. Initially, marketing started as a barter system. That is, a person who is in need of one product will go to the person who is in need of that product and will exchange it for some other product. Let's say, for example, if I am in need for 2 kg rice, I will go to a person who has rice and will try to exchange it whatever goods I have. It can be in form of certain grain, pulses, vegetable, etc. But this system is a very simple system and could not last for longer because other person may not be in need of a product which I am going to offer, and how to come to a specific unit of exchange. Unit of exchange is very difficult. At the same time, the value of one product may not be equal to value of another product. Let's say, for example, you cannot exchange gold for a rice or other grain. So it was a very complex system and not workable in a real marketing scenario. So it evolved to production system, from production to product system, selling system, and then finally we see the current concept of marketing, the modern and slightly more complex system of marketing. Let us understand each of this system in detail. Production concept. Under production concept, it is felt that consumer will prefer the product which are widely available at lowest price. It works on the principle of economies of scale. It is one of the most oldest product, and according to this product, as a consumer, I would prefer product which is widely available and is of lower price. Let's say, for example, there are two products, product A and product B. Product B might be a little superior in quality if it is expensive. So as a consumer, I would not go for a B product but rather go for a A product. So it works on the principle of achieving high product efficiency with low cost and mass distribution. Product concept. Production concept slightly evolved with product concept, and it proposes that consumer favor products that offer most quality, performance and innovative features. That is, the product which has superior quality, is more innovative and most utilitarian will be preferred by consumers. Manager of these organizations stress on research and development of a product and try to improve the product over a period of time. From product concept, we have evolved to selling concept. According to this concept, if left alone with the product, the consumer will not buy enough quantity, and that is why you need to push the product continuously to the consumer to make them buy that product. It has completely disregard to consumers' need and want. That is, if you have a particular product produced, you need to sell it to the market, to the final consumer, without regarding its utility for the consumer. It is more seller and manufacturer centric. It evolved from the selling concept to the marketing concept. Marketing concepts stress the difference between selling concept and marketing concepts in detail. Selling philosophy, first production happens. Without any consideration to consumers' need or want, the production takes place and then efforts are made of whatever is being produced to sell to earn profit. Here it has no regard for consumers' need or requirement. But in marketing philosophy, first identification of consumer needs happen. That is, as a marketeer, you need to understand what consumer actually wants, how they want it, where they want it, etc. And then integrate all the marketing efforts. That is, integrate all your marketing element of product, price, place and promotion to satisfy consumer and satisfy consumers' need. And then by satisfying consumers' need, your marketing goals have been achieved. So it's a more lengthy process, but it starts with identifying consumers' need and want and ends with meeting organization's goal by satisfying your consumer. Difference between marketing and selling is selling is more company oriented. It keeps in mind the need and requirement of the organization, whereas marketing is more consumer oriented. Here the prime role is being played by consumer, and it is understood that the fate of any organization will will be determined by consumer, because if they will stop buying your product or service, then there is no point in any marketing effort. Selling is a short-term focus. It focuses on selling a current stock which is available to you to the consumer to earn profit. Whereas marketing is a long-term process, because it understands that if the consumer's needs are kept in focus and is understood, they are satisfied, then they will keep coming back to the same product or same organization again and again. Selling stresses more on production and product sell, whereas marketing focuses more on the research and consumer need. Selling is merely a part of marketing. Marketing as a function is very big, which has lots of things like consumer research, production, promotion, distribution, selling, feedback, etc. But so selling is a part of marketing, and marketing is a very vast system and function. In selling, there is no regard for consumer feedback. In fact, there is no system from where the feedback from consumer can come. But in marketing, consumer feedback plays a very crucial role, because on the basis of that feedback, the improvisation and improvements in the product and offering is done so that it can be made more useful for the final consumer. Core marketing concepts. Now let us understand certain core marketing concepts, certain concepts without which as a marketer it will not be very easy for you to function in the market, or as a student to understand the complex concepts of marketing. You must be very clear in your head about these concepts and must be able to distinguish between all these concepts. The first concept is concept of need, want and demand. In general life, these terms may be used interchangeably. I can use need in terms instead of demand, or want instead of need. But in marketing, when we are using these specific terms, need, want and demand, they have different meaning associated to them, and hence should be used very carefully. Need. Need is a basic human requirement. It comprises of physical requirement and psychological requirement. Physical requirement like requirement of food, water, shelter, etc. And psychological requirement is requirement for education, recreation, entertainment, etc. These are the basic needs without which an individual cannot live or cannot maintain a certain level of standard in society. Need cannot be created. Now this is one mistake which is usually done by many marketers also, that we have created a need of particular product in the market, but it does not happen that way. Need is always present in the market. It can only be possible that as a consumer, the consumers have not realized that they are in need of a particular product or service. So as a marketer, it becomes your responsibility to create a product or service which can satisfy that unobserved need and make consumer realize that you have a need of a particular product or service. So need cannot be created. It can only be identified by the marketer and then fulfilled. The different needs can be stated need, real needs, unstated needs, delight needs, and secret need. Stated need, which a consumer is aware of and is of very basic. Let's say, for example, I may be aware that I need to go to office, and for that I need a mode of transportation. So mode of transportation is a very basic need which as a consumer I am aware of, and it can be stated in very simple terms. Real needs. Real needs becomes when they are specifically expressed. I need a car to go to office. Now here I have specifically stated that a car is required to commute from home to office. It becomes a specific need. Unstated need can be which is unexpressed or which are expressed by consumer but not specifically mentioned. Now when you go to buy an automobile, you may express it in terms, certain things will come to which you may not express but would obviously expect in the product, like good mileage, good service by the company, good mileage, or color of the car, etc. So these are certain things which are part of a product or service and which are just expected by the consumer. Delight needs are those needs which are not part of your basic expectations, but if are meet, as a consumer you will be very delighted. Let's say for example, instead of 1 year of service, through certain scheme, if you get 5 years of free service, then that will fulfill your delight need. And secret need. What is a secret need? Is a need of which consumer is not aware consciously, but if fulfilled will give a feeling of pride to the consumer. Owning a car gives me a pride and gives me a pride in front of my colleagues, my friends and neighbors. So that's a secret need which will be fulfilled by owning a car, nowhere mentioned in the entire process. And sometimes it may be possible that as a consumer I am not aware of it. Wants. Now when these needs have been defined in a specific term, then they becomes want. Like hungry, I'm hungry is a need, but I'm hungry for a pizza, a burger, a dosa or a dal rice becomes a want. So when needs are directed towards a specific product or service, they becomes want. And wants are shaped by society. Like for a same need, people belonging to different society may express different want. For hunger need, people from urban India may describe a want for a burger, a pizza, etc. But in rural area may describe it, dal rice, chapati, vegetables, etc. So wants are shaped by society. Demand. Now wants become demand when the consumer has willingness to pay for it. As I have already stated that the consumer should have willingness and ability to pay for it. So wants becomes wants for a specific product backed by ability to pay becomes a demand. Now the concept of customer value and satisfaction. Value. Buyer chooses, according to value concept, buyer chooses the offering that provide most and deliver most value as per his or her perception. That is the perception of a product or service in comparison with the offering provided that product or service defines by value. Value is a combination of tangible benefits plus intangible benefits minus cost associated with that product or service. Tangible benefits are the benefits which can be felt. It can be price of a product, discount on a particular product or service, quality of a product, etc. And intangible benefits can be like how proximity of the product, brand value of the product, which are intangible but as a consumer are really important for me. If I go to a particular store and the attitude of salesperson is really good towards me, it will also enhance my selling experience and will be a part of intangible benefit. Cost can be in terms of time cost, energy cost, economical cost. Economical cost is price which you are paying for a particular product or service. Time cost is the amount of time you have been involved in terms of searching for that product, accumulating information of that product. Energy you have consumed for buying that particular product. I may not like to go 15 kilometers for a discount of 500 rupees, but for 15,000 rupees, why not? Value is a function of product quality, price and service. So when a product quality and service increases, the value perception also increases. And when the product price increases, the value perception decreases. Satisfaction. Satisfaction is the judgment of product's perceived performance in relation to expectation. That is what I have as a consumer expected from a particular product and service and what it has actually delivered or how it has performed. So if the perceived performance of a product matches with the consumer's expectation, the consumer is satisfied. And when the perceived performance is lower than the expectation, it leads to dissatisfaction. And if the perceived performance is more than expectation, it leads to consumer delight. Let's say, for example, you go to a restaurant. The basic thing which you will expect is good food, good ambience, good attitude of waiters, etc. And if they are met, you will be satisfied. But if the taste of food is not good, or the service is very lethargic, it will obviously lead to dissatisfaction. Now with all these factors of satisfaction, good food, ambience, etc., if you get a complimentary dessert, you will be obviously delighted. So, and next time when you visit to that restaurant, the free dessert will add to the experience. But the third time, you will automatically start to expect the free dessert. So, a consumer delight becomes a part of expectation after a certain time. And that is why as a marketer, you need to keep evolving and keep improving your product or offer.